Quest for the Moonstones. This is a new game in the Chronicles of Crime system, but it is now the Kids Chronicles. It is the version to play with young gamers, or to give to young gamers so they can play it by themselves. It is a game which is fully cooperative for 1 to 4 players, and it is based again on the Chronicles of Crime system, in which you will have problems to solve. In the original system, of course, you had mature themes, you had a lot of story element, you had a narrative that you unlocked by interacting with the cards that are placed in the play area and that are decoded using your phone. There are QR codes, and you simply scan those codes using your phone, and those codes are placed on cards that represent characters, that represent items, and it's a really simple system, and one that I like very much. If you watch my videos, you may have stumbled upon one of my videos for Chronicles of Crimes games, even one recently, the 2400 version. It's a system that I like very much. It's very immersive. I think it does wonders in bringing storytelling to tabletop gaming, because you really get the feeling that you're interacting with the story world. When you scan a card representing a person, you enter a conversation mode, and then anything that you scan from that moment on is something you're talking about with that person. So you can ask them about other people, you can ask them about items, you can travel to different locations, things, opportunities may open or close depending on the time of the day. There are moments in which you go in VR and you're looking around the scene, scanning for clues. It's a really great system. And so I was very excited when I saw that now there was a version for kids that I could play with my kids. And so that's how it went. So I played the game. I played every scenario in the game with my kids, who are currently 9 and 11. So you know the kind of range that we got here. It's a kids game in the truest sense of the word, meaning it's not a family game in the sense of, like, say, King of Tokyo, which is a game that kids and adults can play. It's a game that really feels for kids, meaning as I was playing it, of course, the things that are important when you play with kids. So there's no violence, so there are no mature themes, everything looks colorful and nice. At the same time, however, I felt that my kids were having a lot more fun than I was having. I was starting to get a little bit distracted here and there. It is a game that is not so much about solving a mystery, but about solving problems. In essence, it feels like a point-and-click adventure for kids. I'm not going to give you any spoilers about the story. That's why I'm not even showing you the components. And if I give an example, I'm going to give you one right now. It's completely fictional, so it doesn't give you any spoilers. But suppose there is somebody that says, "Oh, I have an item that you may need, but I like a ham sandwich before I can give it to you." Oh, okay. So you go around, you look for a ham sandwich, and you bring a ham sandwich. Sometimes that results in some weird situations, like, again, fictional. Imagine somebody says, "Oh man, I really wish I had a pebble." And you travel around the kingdom, you go to the other side of the kingdom to find the pebble that they want. And you're thinking, isn't there any closer pebble here? But that's the way it is. So it's about interacting with fantasy characters in a fairy tale kind of world, and figuring out what they want and what they need. And sometimes it's figuring out where it might be. Sometimes it's kind of random, like, okay, somebody needs a certain thing, we don't know about it, we're gonna scan randomly what's happening there. So it feels a little bit mechanical, or very mechanical even that way. And again, it may work for kids. Well, not just it may work, it works for kids. My kids really, really liked it. They really got into the story, into the situation, and so, like, yeah, we solved the problem, we brought the pebble to the person that needed the pebbles, and now the person is giving us a fictional example, a hammer. There are no hammers in the story, right? Is that a spoiler that there are no hammers? Semantics can be tricky. Oh no, the pebble guy gave us a hammer which we can use to nail a nail. That sort of things. Again, it's very basic, which is perfectly fine for a game for kids. Let's just say that I had such a great time with Chronicles of Crime that I thought and I was hoping it could be more of a true family experience, that I could have fun playing with my kids. I was happy to see my kids having fun. So I have no hesitation recommending this game as a game for kids. Intergenerationally, maybe not so much. Or definitely not a game that would work, say, a game night with your adult friends. For those, you may rely on the regular Chronicles of Crimes still. The general idea of Quest for the Moonstones. There's a campaign, so the scenarios are interlinked. The initial scenarios, you can play them in any order. The final scenario is recommended that you played after you completed the previous ones. About the plot, yeah, they don't really tell in the back, so I'm not gonna tell about the plot either. You'll discover it as you open the app, and it tells you. But you'll know that it has something to do with the questing for the Moonstone, so you know it has something to do with collecting these Moonstones in early scenarios, and they will be important. It will be important later. So again, no violence, nothing disturbing or that is not family friendly. Some situations are kind of silly because as an adult you recognize, oh, this is that situation that I usually see in an adult version, and this is the toned down version. So talk to people, and I can give you a sense of some of the people here, just showing you what's on the back of the box. Talk to people, collect items, and you know, if you're a kid, have a good time doing it. Something interesting that is different here from the other Chronicles of Crime games, and I think was a good change because kids really love it, is you have a lot more virtual reality scenes. You have a lot more scenes where people are going around and looking at different situations. A lot more of those, the kids love doing it, with a lot fewer clues. Usually you look at the scene and there's like one obvious item, one obvious character that you find there. And again, that's perfect in a kid's version because my kids loving it. They love not having any ambiguity. The things that you're looking for just stand out so much. Just in case after the virtual reality moment, the text, the app tells you, oh, there's this one person and two items that you should have noticed. Have you seen them? No problem there. Which again would be very boring in Chronicles of Crime for adult, and it works perfectly. My kids had to cooperate. They had a system, you know, okay, I look at the virtual reality scene, you look at that one, because they loved it so much. It may look like a gimmick to you, but if kids have fun playing it, I don't have any complaints about that. And I think actually, again, that was a nice adjustment. The target a bit different here, that the game became even more visual than in the original game and simplified to the extreme. So another thing that is interesting is you have an actual board, double-sided, representing two different realms, two different kingdoms of this fantasy world. And that's also fun, as you really get more of a sense of a place in which things happen. I think that helped my kids latch onto the story world better than in Chronicles of Crime, in which you have different locations within a world that you never see in its entirety. One thing that they said is from time to time you want to travel from one location to the other, and you do have to scan the intermediate locations even though you don't necessarily want to stop there. In my case, that's the one thing that my kids said, could be done better. Other than that, the stories are elementary to say the least, but exciting for young players. The production values are high, the art, the cards, the illustrations, everything is very good. The stories, again, are fun, a bit silly. They made sense to my kids. They almost made sense to me, and that's good enough, because that's really what this game is about. It's not family chronicles, it's kids chronicles. So if you're looking for a present to give to your kids, to get them introduced to a system that maybe in a couple of years they will enjoy in the full version, this is good. This is a perfectly good, a perfectly fine game for kids. And this is my assessment of Quest for the Moonstones.